Good morning, fellow hackers and creative types. I'm David Wilson, and welcome back to another stream. I'm very happy to have you join me this morning. Thanks to Daniel and Kim, who I can see who are there in the chat. Yeah, this track is pretty cool. I found it on a Creative Commons music website called CC Mixter, and I need to be attributing the creators of this track in the description, but I'll add it after the stream. But yeah, it's a pretty cool track. So today we're going to continue on with the stream hacking that we were doing last time, where we were trying to create a custom. Thank you, Daniel. I got a new capture device, so it's making it look a lot better. So yeah, we're going to continue working on the custom stream overlay server that we started working on in the last stream. For those of you who weren't there, the idea is that OBS allows you to display a browser page over the stream video so that you can display whatever custom information you want. And since this is for live streaming, we're going to try to gather information from the YouTube data API to display on the screen for information like chat messages or donations or subscribers or even like the live viewer count. So last time we got to the point where we were almost authenticating using Oauth2 with the YouTube API. Now we're going to try to finish that work. Hopefully it won't take very long because, you know, authentication stuff sometimes does take time. And then from there, we're going to try to take some data from the YouTube data API and put it into the HTML page that we're overlaying just to see if we can get it going. And if we have enough time, I think what I'll do next is try to get a WebSocket channel set up between the overlay page and the service that we are running so that we can get live data updates from the data API for like chat messages and whatnot. So let's get back to it. And feel free at any time, like ask questions or interject, or, you know, like if I'm doing something wrong, tell me, please. Because last time I had a syntax error in some CSS and nobody told me. So it's good to know whenever these things happen. Also, another thing, if there's any point where you hear any buzzing in the audio, just let me know, because this microphone cable is very sensitive and it starts buzzing at times. So I'll fix that. Cool. Let's jump over to the code. Get out of studio mode here. All right. So let me go and look at where we were at, because this is the first time I've looked at the code since last week. So I think what we were doing was trying to get the auth key working, but based on something that I looked up this morning, it sounds like I actually need to pass along something else for the API. So let me check this real quick. So this example is supposed to give you an example of how to authenticate, but apparently they use another auth library, which is called Google Auth library. And I wasn't under the impression that I needed to use that, but they're apparently using it in this example. And frankly, I'm not certain that I want to try to use it. If I can make it work with just the auth token itself, I would prefer to do that. So where are we? I must have been on a different screen. Okay. So what I'll try to do is instead of using auth key here, I'll try to use auth key in the actual API call, because it appears that the example at least is trying to do it that way. So let's see if we can do it that way. And I think if we pass auth here and auth key, maybe it will work if we're lucky. Let's see if things, okay, cool. Let me try, whoa. All right, let's try this again. So I'm going to start the server up, and we'll probably have to go through the whole login rigmarole one more time. Once again, it's taking forever because of TS node. I think we may have to break down and just start using TSC in this stream, because it just takes too long to wait for this. And while that's happening, let me see if I can, okay, we got the auth URL here. I'll pull up my other browser so we don't expose anything today. Try to log in with my YouTube account. App isn't verified, yes. All right, let's see. It wants to sign my life away, as usual. Okay, so we got the key. Error login required. Okay, so we got the same problem again, where we are able to acquire authentication key, but apparently whatever I'm doing is not appropriate for the purpose of authenticating with this service. So maybe I'll just go ahead and try to use this library as they recommend, because I don't want to waste too much more time on trying to get auth set up. I mean, we'd rather get to like the actual things that we're trying to accomplish here. So let's install this library. And let me just fix up the screen because I've got my workspaces all mixed up here. Okay. So let's install the Google Auth library. And for those of you on the stream who are familiar with the Azure Identity Library, the Google Auth library apparently is similar in a lot of ways, because it will automatically pick credentials based on what type of environment you're in. So that's funny. Let's see. So I think I was doing some of this in the example. Oauth2client. I passed in the stuff directly instead of pulling it in from the file. Oauth2, let's see. Oauth2. So yeah, we create an instance of the Oauth2client, which I'm doing here. So I have a handle on that. And then, oh, you know what? Oh no. I didn't want to actually print out the value of this on the stream because obviously it's got a token in it. But what we may be retrieving is a full JSON-based JOT token based on what I'm seeing here. So it's possible that I need to do this instead. So let's see, how do they use this eventually? So there's a callback, and I believe that get new token is probably calling this authorized method. Create interface. Okay, so that does, oh wait. Generate URL. Who's calling authorized? Ah, okay, I think I saw it. Why did it snap back? Oh, jeez, give me a break. There we go. What is going on with this page today? This browser is a little bit funky sometimes. All right, so authorize a client. This is at the top level of the file. So we're saying parse the credential file and then call get channel as a callback. So authorize is then calling the callback, which is get channel. I don't know what get new token does, but auth in this case is the Oauth2client. So probably we need to pass in this Oauth2client as the parameter to this thing. So instead of passing along auth key, I'll do Oauth2client. And I believe that should work because it's supposed to accept that type of parameter or the type of value, as you can see down here at the bottom. Okay, so the other thing that they do is whenever the authentication completes, they take the token, they parse it from JSON, and they assign it to this credentials field on the object. So let's actually look at that real quick and see what it is. Oauth2client. There we go. Computer's being a little bit slow today. Credentials. Okay, so it's a field. What's the type? There we go. Okay, so auth_client.credentials. Let's go to definition on that, just see what if I can get the information on that. So looking at credentials itself. Okay, so this looks like the contents you would get back from a token response. So probably I just need to parse that and assign it to credentials, and then in theory this should work. We'll find out real fast if the JSON will be parsable. So I have the result of auth key here. So I'll say const creds equals json.parse auth key, and we'll fix this up. Hey, Alex. And then once we have that, we can say credentials equals creds, and we may have to do some kind of casting here. I guess it will accept it. Okay, well, you don't know what type it is. Whatever. If you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. So now let's try authenticating one more time. I'll run the server. And it turns out we may not actually need that Google Auth library, so hopefully we can skip that part. All right, why aren't we seeing all that? Okay, so we have our auth URL now. fingers crossed that this is the solution to the problem. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into my other browser window and then try to log in. Selecting my YouTube account, bypassing the verification screen, allowing credentials. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So whatever we're retrieving is not JSON. It starts with a slash, or it has a slash, which makes me think it really is just a token. So I'm really unsure about why this is happening, but let's forge ahead and see if we can make this work. So generate auth URL. Let's see if we're calling that correctly. So access type offline, and we're asking for the scopes that we want. So that part's fine. We call get token. Is there anything special there? Get token. So I think, let's see, do we call that get token? No, we're not calling get token. So that's one difference here. They call get token, which may set up some state internally, and they do have their own callback, which is where this token is coming from. Get and store a new token after prompting user for user authorization. So this must be for token refreshing. So maybe that's not the right place to look. But let's look back at the authorized part. They call, it's called what now? Get authorization URL. Whoops. Let's go vimb. Are we having problems here? Okay, browser issues. Okay, it doesn't want to search for me today. Let's just read. Okay. Authorize. Auth2 get. Oh, okay. It does call get new token. Cool. All right. So then let's try this get token function. They seem to be doing auth code authorization, which is kind of strange, but maybe that's what we're supposed to be doing actually. Maybe get token is the point where we're failing here. So they say generate auth URL. The user goes to the URL. They authorize the app. And then from this point, we can pass in the, see, I don't know if this is actually a code, but then again, it does say code in the response we get back. So in the callback, there is a parameter, query parameter called code. Let me fix this. Yep, sorry about that. There's a query parameter called code. So maybe this is the code it's looking for. So let's actually try to call Oauth2client Gettoken. Put the code in, and then it should give me a token back that I can assign right into the credentials. The weird thing is I did see this. Oh, okay. All right. So now I understand why there's this JSON parse here. What's happening is they're saving the token to a file for later. That's fine. So we may tackle that another time. For now, we'll just continue with authenticating. Well, yeah, if we have to restart the server a bunch of times, we're going to have to save that token. So we'll get there. Let's try this first. Oauth2client Gettoken. Okay. For some reason, I can't change workspaces. Hi, Erics. Okay, something very strange is happening. I can't even get off this screen. Huh. Okay, let me see if I can kill this browser window. Yeah, unfortunately with authentication, you end up having too many issues to deal with. Okay, something very weird is happening right now because I can't actually do any Emacs commands. Error in process filter, evil backward care. This seems to be an Emacs issue. And this is what happens whenever you have Emacs be your entire window manager. Because if anything goes wrong, you're really hosed. Let's see. Can I do any key bindings? This is so weird. Can I type? No, I cannot type. So I've basically lost control of my keyboard. Okay. Let me think for a moment about how we can solve this problem. If there is a way to solve this problem. Possible that I pressed a button that caused this? I apologize for the delay here. This is really strange. Okay. I'm going to try to switch to a virtual terminal and kill a process. Hopefully the stream will stay up, but if it doesn't, are we here? Can you see me? Have we reconnected? All right. So one thing that we've learned today is that if you switch to a virtual terminal in Linux while you're streaming with OBS, it will die. So good thing for everyone here to know if you like to use Linux for streaming. All right, so apparently somehow my browser, vimb, managed to lock up my keyboard, but when I went and killed all the vimb processes, now it seems to be fine. So let's get back to it. All right, so what we wanted to do, actually I'm gonna have to find that tutorial one more time. Yes, it is the crash aspect, it's the hang aspect. When I said let's hang out on the stream, I didn't really mean for the stream to hang entirely. Let's see, YouTube data API node. Let's see if I can find it again. Node.js quick start, I believe that was the page. If this page causes my browser to hang again, I'm gonna be really upset. Whoa, okay. All right, so we were looking at the Auth2client Gettoken function. So I believe we need to use that here, but I probably should wrap that further because I don't really want to deal with that. So in this callback where we get the auth key, and let's see, we can return 200. We should return 200 to the server, but we should also initiate this process of calling Oauth2client Gettoken, and we can pass it the auth key. And now let's just call it code because we know it's a code of some sort. Probably should use a language server rename function on that. And also we need to have a callback function that returns an error, that takes an error and a token. So let's take error token, and we will move this promise resolution inside of it, and we will use token here. Now code, what do you not like about code? No overload matches this call. Overload 1 of 4 string. Oh, okay, so this is probably an Annie. So let's just coerce that to a string. And then that's happy now. Error, sure, let's write out an error because if we don't authenticate, we're gonna wanna know why. So if error, let's see, console.error, error while calling Gettoken. Then we'll just print it out. Hopefully it doesn't expose any token information again. Okay, else will resolve. In fact, we should probably reject, but I think I did not save the reject function for the promise, so let's just skip that for now. All right, auth key resolve. Now, what we should see, let's just take that out because we know what that is now. We will resolve this, and it will pass the token back here. And we set the credentials here. Let's not parse this. Let's just say creds here. And this doesn't like that, so why don't you like it? What is this? This is a promise of string, and credentials wants what? Like you're gonna start getting upset about this now? That's very interesting. As auth, was it auth credentials dot auth client dot credentials. Okay, and probably we need to pull in Google, let's like Google.authClient. Give me some suggestions. Help me out here, LSP. Let's go. That's really weird. Okay, so let me pop back to this again. And this is in what? Google Auth. Oh, okay. It's in Google Auth library after all. Interesting. So this is an abstract class, Auth client. Doesn't make sense. No, that does make sense. Okay, so let's look at the credentials definition, where that's at. So it's an interface that's being exported from probably the public interface of Google Auth library. So if I look for, this is so slow. All right, let's go and pull that in. Import star from, yeah, we'll fix this. Google Auth library, yeah, library. And now, since we can get IntelliSense from this, maybe we can get we can figure out what the name should be. So is it credentials? There we go, cool. Come on now. All right, so let's go back down here and say this is credentials. And hopefully it will be satisfied. You happy now? Okay, cool. So we assume creds is in a credentials object because it's supposed to be coming back as an object from Gettoken. So we were going to assign token to Oauth2client credentials. We've got that here. Let's just rename this. Oh, what sound did you hear? A buzzing noise? Let's see, token. And then token. Yeah, TypeScript and modern JavaScript have pretty nice import syntax. Let's see. So now that should work. Let's try it one more time and see. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it wasn't for me. I don't know. I hope it wasn't for me. Okay, we're waiting for this thing to start up. Let's see what it does. Yeah, TypeScript is pretty great. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Node.js is a pretty capable platform for doing application development for web and desktop. And TypeScript just makes it like really effective for that. So let's pull the authentication. I'm not going to turn it into one of those cheesy Netflix horror movies where someone's going to come like strangle me when I'm on the screen. All right, let's see. Log in as my YouTube account. Let's see. Come on, this takes too long. Invalid client. What does that even mean? Let me move this microphone down. If it starts buzzing, just tell me. Okay, I think we're good for now. So it says invalid client. I must not be configuring it correctly somehow. Would you stop exposing the freaking token string, please? Jesus Christ, man. Why do they put all this stuff in the error messages? Can you not sanitize? Google, please. Sanitize your error messages so that people don't have their secrets printed out to a console. You know, like, do you want that happening on someone's server where it's going to be logged to like some log dump or something where you just have secrets just like splayed all over the place? Please, for the love of God, sanitize your logs. Thank you. Anyway, swear to God, look at that shit. It's right all over the place. So, invalid client. I think that something must be wrong with this. So let's just look at where we're putting Oauth2client here. Oauth2client. Okay, let's not get into the same problem we ran into before with the browser. Get token, credentials, callback, Oauth2client. So I think that get channel uses auth, quote unquote auth, which is the client, in the operation function. And we're setting it up the same way, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. I don't see why we don't. Why it doesn't work. Get new token, callback, Auth2client, credentials equals JSON parse. Oh. So No, that's not right. I don't have to do that because the actual object is coming back here. I really don't want to print this thing out, but since it's already printed out my freaking credentials anyway, what's the point? I mean, I might as well just like see what's in there. Okay, what I'm gonna do is try to write this thing to a file and see what it has in it, and I'm gonna look at it on another screen so that I don't expose my own credentials, because Google's apparently doing that well enough for me. So let's try that real fast. So let's import star as fs from fs. And because I like things being orderly, let's put that at the top. All right, so at this point where we have token, let's write out to a file fs.write file sync secrets.json. And let's see, path, data, let's see, token, and this is an object, so let's do json dot stringify. Come on now. And because I want to be able to read it, I'm going to give it some spacing. Hello, Emacs. Undefined 2. Okay, is that enough? That should be enough. Okay, let's run this one more time, shall we? Always lovely to wait for something to start. Okay, so let's grab the auth URL again. I am so tired of doing this whole little song and dance. We're definitely going to save this token to a file. I mean, we're already doing it right now, so might as well just continue on with that path if this actually writes something out that is meaningful. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Invalid client. Okay, let me look on my other screen and see what's in that file, if it actually did get written out. It did not get written out. So where are we? Something happened. Invalid client. There wasn't an error. Oh, no, I am incorrect. Look at that. Error while calling Gettoken. That's my error. Okay, so something is wrong here with the way that we're trying to call Gettoken. And I apologize that we're having to spend so much time on authentication here. This is like the most boring shit we could possibly be doing right now. So if we don't finish it by today, I'm going to finish it myself before the next stream so we don't waste more time. So Gettoken, we've already set Oauth2client up earlier in this file. So we've created the instance of it. We have client ID, client secret. I'm pretty sure the .m file is there. Let me check it on my other screen. Come on. Yeah, .env. Okay, so it's there. Delete it. Thank you. Okay, and the other possibility. Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass, isn't it, Alex? Okay, so we have an error. It says invalid client. And it, like, as soon as I try to look at the error, it's spitting out my token details. Let me see if I missed anything in the setup. So, okay, so maybe, no, I did that right, because they're saying new OAuth2. Oauth2client. Oauth2client.credentials. Callback Oauth2client. Generate auth URL. Authorize this app by visiting this URL. Yes. Enter the code from that page. I guess this is if you don't have a redirect set up, it will just paste, it'll write the whole token out. So we're getting that code. Okay, I'm gonna have to write out that string to see what it is, because I can't trust what I'm getting at this point. It must be something wrong. So let me write out that thing to another file. This is really absurd. Okay, so let's just make a different name, and then we'll say code. And this is not a JSON string anymore. This is just a regular string, so we'll just say code. All right. And then once again, we wait. So how's your day going? Mine not so good so far. I hate these headphones. They make me look like a Dalek because I have this huge thing. Or no, it's not the Daleks, right? It's the other thing from Doctor Who. Something man. I don't remember what they're called. Somebody in the chat probably knows what it's called. Alex, you must know what it's called. All right, let me log in again. Ah, crap. Cyberman. That's it. I look like a fucking Cyberman because of this stupid headphone. But the reason why I'm using these today is because I can actually plug into my audio interface directly and monitor the microphone so that I can hear when the buzzing starts and catch it before it drives anyone insane. Because last time I wasn't able to do that. Okay, we're authenticating. All right, so now we're at the same point of invalid client. Let me see if I can find the file that I wrote out. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a code. So in theory, this should be working. But it's not. I am losing my patience with the situation, as I'm sure the rest of you are. So let's see. What else could we be missing here? It says invalid client. So let me just look up that error. That's a good idea. So Google Auth2 invalid client. Now, I mean, it's entirely possible that I've got something put into my environment variables wrong, but I find it to be kind of unlikely. Product name is same. What? That can't be right. Huh? Oh, well, no, I don't have that. That would be stupid. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid looking at the backtrace because every time it just puts my credentials right on the screen. Okay, so let me look at that in file. Yeah, like, yeah, it's the product name. Well, I don't know about that, dude. Okay, let me just waste some more time here and go to the stupid Google APIs thing. Google APIs. And check that I've got the right client ID set. Google API console. And if I have to, I'll just download that credential file that they supposedly give you, because I'm getting sick of dealing with this. I mean, that may be the most expedient way to deal with this anyway. So let's see, credentials. All right, so there's that. Can I download? Sweet. That is a lovely file name. You can't see it, obviously. Okay, so I'm gonna move that to the local folder. Whoopsie. All right, so move downloads. Okay, client secret. That's probably my client ID, or no, the app name or something. That's fine. I think that's visible anyway. So move that to the current directory creds.json, maybe, let's say. Okay, so .creds.json, and in the example from, actually, I'm going to look at that file right fast and see what it has in it. out of curiosity. Oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff in there. Okay, so. Yeah, I hate the fact that the build of Firefox on my machine is titled nightly. I can't ever find it when I'm looking in the window list. Yeah, I'm going to have to revoke all this stuff because obviously I can't have any semblance of security here. All right. Sorry for those who got bored and left. Let's see. Let's load up this file based on what they recommend. I think they do that here. Read file, client secret.json. And what are they pulling out? Pulling out client secret, client ID, redirect URIs. Okay, I think that's basically the same thing I was already doing. Credentials.installed, credentials. I don't think that this file even matches what this example is showing me. So let me just, I'm going to double check the values that I have set. You know, it turns out I may have the wrong client ID. 638. No, that's right. All right, I'm going to copy these from the other file because what else am I going to do? All right, and then client secret. Where is it? Oh, that's not even the same secret. Okay, something weird is going on here. So apparently the client secret that I had was not the same as what I had in my file, which is very strange. Unless I pulled it from the wrong. No, that's right. Okay, maybe that's why I had the wrong client secret, which I swear to God, I copied the client secret they gave me on the page whenever I started it up. So maybe what happened was I recreated this and I never set it back correctly. So let's just run it again and see what happens. Maybe it actually works this time. Yeah, I hope that's not the case, but if it is, then it's my mistake, and I apologize for the wasted time. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Okay. All right. Once again, pasting in the link to the browser. Going through this whole little dance. Okay. Choose YouTube account. Skip the verification screen. Accept the permissions. Oh, it worked. Okay, so I think that... I swear to God, the fucking bearer token is right there. Why are you printing this out in responses? This is insane. Okay, so we got 200. So we have the, I'm trying to see if I can see the name or the code for the stream, etag, broadcast response. Son of a bitch, man. Why would they put the bearer token in the response body? I don't understand this. Unless I'm misunderstanding something completely. Okay, so I think I got information back here, but I can't look at it very easily because they're put my credentials everywhere. So, Jesus. Okay, I've worked on a team where we're dealing with credentials and we log things out, and we never put stuff like this in responses or in logs. So I don't understand why it's coming out in objects like this. This is insane. Like, if you give the headers back, don't give the authorization credential back. Whoops. All right. I think I deleted that. So now that we have the broadcast information, let's just look at the object directly, the way that it's supposed to be used, and see if we can pull out the things that we asked for. So let me go to the documentation for live broadcast. So for those of you who just joined, we finally just got the authentication working with Oauth2 on the Google API. So now we can finally get data to come back. And maybe within the next, let's say 20 minutes, I can get some of that data on the screen. That'd be awesome, right? Let's see if I'm overly optimistic this time. YouTube API live broadcasts. I didn't even type that correctly, but maybe the thing will help me. Okay, Google live streaming API overview. This is conceptual docs. I want the API docs. Live broadcasts, that's the one. Okay. So we're listing live broadcasts. I'm asking for mine. What I should do also is ask for broadcast status of, oh, God damn it, really? Come on. Broadcast status of active. Can I easily do that? So let's see. Oh, and while I'm here, let me, I really want to load in that token because I really do not want to have to authenticate again. So let me set that up real fast. That will save us some time and maybe will keep us from losing more of our hair. Okay. So what I'll do now is remove this one file that I have. Oh, are we not getting completions now? Because that would be really helpful. That's awesome. Security.json. And I think there was another one. Did I not write that file out? That would be really strange if so. Gotta be kidding me. What's happening? Okay. Okay, cool. We got it. So let me remove this file. Why do you want to switch to buffer? This is insane. Okay. So we removed that one file. I'm going to give a better name for this. So let's move secrets to dot cached token JSON. And let's also edit get ignore because I don't want to check this in. Do I not have get ignore? Okay, fine. .env .cached tokens or cached token .json. So let's do that. In this, let's see, when we start up, we're not going to wait for the Oauth2 callback. What's the right way to do this? We will look for the file first. So I think it's fs dot, no, it may be path. If that's right. Okay. Because I'm a bad Node developer, or maybe because I'm a Google developer, or because I'm a search engine developer, I will search for node check if file exists. Because why would you need to know about an API if you can just Google it all day long? Okay, fs.existsync. So apparently my language server was just too slow to give me the suggestion. Jesus Christ, all right. Okay, so we're looking for .cached token.json. And we're going to do an if statement around that. So if it exists, we will just load that in. And let's say, let's do a let here because we need to be able to change it later. Yeah, let's just do that. It's not the cleanest pattern, but we'll do this for now. So token equals undefined for now. And we're probably going to have to give it a type because we're in TypeScript. So token is credentials or undefined. All right, and then let's load it from the file. Let's say token equals json.parse fs.read files. Is that capital S? F, yeah, read file sync .cached token.json. Wrap that with some quotation marks. Jeez. Streaming is definitely eating half my CPU, so like typing. Okay, so read file sync, and I think that it's a buffer, so I need to do toString. Okay, so that should read in the token file, and then with this else, this is a really bad pattern, but we will fix it later. Token, oh, I don't think we need, okay, let's do that as credentials. Okay. Apparently we're having some stream issues. Anybody noticing problems with the stream? Okay, so now we've loaded the token up. We're setting up the client. I could probably go back to passing auth in at the client level, but I'm going to skip that for now. Okay, so this should load in the token that we already have. Let's give it a shot and see if I can just load it straight up. And once again, it's going to take forever for it to load up with TS node. Basically, if this works, then we will move right along to putting it back on the screen again, and then we'll be able to call it for the day whenever it's done. Okay, cool. So we loaded the token back from the file where we cached it, and now we are able to consistently get responses back for the live broadcast API. So let's go back to that page. I wanted to look for broadcast status. Can I pass this in? Broadcast status. Thank you. Yes. So broadcast status. My God. Okay. Jesus. All right. Broadcast status equals. Is this a string enum or? Thanks, LSP mode, for throwing up that huge mini buffer. Broadcast status is a string. I want to say active because I only want to see the active live stream active. All right, now the body. The things we're asking for are snippet, content details, and status. I don't know what snippet means. What does snippet mean? I believe that the overview tells you what the body of a live broadcast is. So we'll go back there. Okay. Properties, snippet. Snippet contains basic details about the event. Okay, so that's not super useful. Live chat ID. I do want that. I need the chat ID because I need to be able to pull chat messages. So let's try that real fast, actually. Let's try grabbing the live chat ID, and then maybe we can try to list the chat messages as a result of that. So b dot, and I think that it comes back as b dot data. Yeah, it's got headers, obviously, all over the damn place. Okay. Yes. Okay, b dot data. So b dot data dot. You're gonna give me types for this? That'd be great if you did, but you're not gonna do it. Live broadcast list response. B dot what? Data. It's right there. Dot. Thank you. All right. Is that all? It's got more than that. Data dot snippet, but it wasn't there. OBS is really chewing up my resources today. I believe it's because I'm running it from Flatpak. I don't really know what performance overhead comes from running on Flatpak, but it's hitting me pretty good. Okay, so let's just write out b.data first. I wonder how easy it would be to just get TSC compiling because it takes way too long for this to round trip. Let me get that started. So package.json. I don't have a TS config file. Maybe I could just create a small one. Build TSC dot. Let's see if that works after this wakes up again. Okay. What? Incompatible parameters specified in the request. Broadcast status? Well, I swear you say that's a parameter. Unless you don't like the value. List by broadcast status. Oh, maybe you can't do them both at the same time. Which would be a little bit ridiculous if you ask me. Are we stuck? What's happening? Okay. Okay, let me just go take that back out again because I don't want to have to deal with that at the moment. So let's try our build script. Run build. Will TSC give me what I'm looking for? Nope. Cannot find TS config file. So let's just go basic TS config file. Maybe TSC has like an init function or something I can use, a init command, but I doubt it. So give me just the basic. I just want something that I can put in here. Common.js. I don't know if I want Common.js. Maybe, yeah, for Node. Implicit any, that's kind of... Okay, let's just put the most basic possible thing in the output folder. Okay. I don't want to deal with that. For preserved constant enums, sure, source maps are good. Okay. And I want the output folder. Compiler options. Output directory declaration files. I want... If anybody knows the answer, shout it out. I'm looking for the output folder. Parameter, Jesus. Okay. Out deer. Okay, that's it. Out deer. And yes, we need to put that into the public path because that's what's being loaded by the server. I may change that later, but let's see now if this runs. Okay, that's taking forever too. That's not encouraging. Wow, I have never seen such a small TypeScript project take so long to compile. I don't know if it's because my CPU is high or if it's this library that I'm pulling in, because this is really long. And this computer is not underpowered by any means. Invalid. Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah, I screwed that up. Auth2client. I guess TS Node is more forgiving for things like that somehow. It must set certain parameters on the compiler whenever it runs. Almost there, folks. Sorry about that. We'll probably wind this stream down in about 5 minutes, so probably not going to get very far. This is taking stupidly long. That was not even worth the time. I could have just kept going with TS Node for now. Okay. So because that was a waste, let's just go run npm start. And the thing that I wanted to see in the broadcast output was the data. And I wanted to validate that whether I could see snippets or not, or snippet. So data is T, and the response data. So what type is this? Live broadcast list response. Okay, let's go to the YouTube client. I just want to look at the object, or maybe does it know? Maybe if I say, if I go to definition on that, it could tell me. No, damn it. Okay, this is taking too long. I'm pretty sure the object has a has a snippet field. Waste of time. All right, let's go back to the file. We'll just write it out again. All right, so b.data. I'm going to write it out in a way that we can see everything. So json.stringify, because the default printer will not print within the object, or at least it's beyond some level of depth. So undefined to You're gonna give me a close paren. Okay, npm start. All right, let's see if this works. Hopefully this gives us at least some information about what we have in there. Next stream is going to be a lot more productive. I'll say that for sure. Because at least we're getting data back from the service. That is the most important thing. All right, cool. So we got a lot of stuff here. Status. I think it's like stream details probably. Let me search for snippet. There we are, snippet. Channel ID, dev aspect live stream. Cool. It has a title. Oh, this seems like an old one. Can't be the right one. So stream hacking. Okay, that's the one we're on right now. So I definitely need to be able to filter these down. Blah, 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 blah. Live chat ID. There it is. And this is within items. Okay, that explains why we didn't see it before. So because I wasn't thinking clearly, we should be looking at items. So b.items. Are you there? b.data.items. And then we will do, can we filter this by default? Yeah, filter. We're going to filter by, yeah, some of the stuff I may have to do that ahead of time. So filter by snippet dot status. Oof, okay. Yeah. By broadcast b dot snippet. Yeah, there we go. Let's just enforce it. That's true. Snippet dot status. Is that right? Ah, okay. So status is actually a higher level part of that. Status. Yes, dot lifecycle status. Oh, come on, man. Equals live. So then we filtered them based on that. Let me get this here. So live stream. Jeez, this is taking too much effort. You should feel free to promote. Don't worry. If any of you have your own streams that you do, you should feel free to promote in the chat. I don't have a problem with that at all. Okay, so we'll also pull the first one of this because we know that there should only be one. And I know that there's a possibility there could be 0, but only if we are not streaming right now, which we are. So at the moment, I think we're fine. And let's go with that and see what, whoops, let's start it over, see what happens. And if we get this data, then we can say that's probably good enough for today. And then we will go again, possibly on Wednesday. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Okay, let's see. Is this the right one? Stream ID, status, that's the one. Okay, so we have the data for this stream. We've authenticated. So, okay, let's recap what happened in the stream. So we were able to finally get the Auth2 process working with the YouTube data APIs after I realized that the client secret was wrong in my local configuration. That was my fault. I apologize for that. And then now that we've got that, we're able to query the live broadcast API to look at the list of all live broadcasts, but apparently that gives you back all of them, even ones that have already completed. So I had to do a little bit of post filtering to get the live broadcast that we're on right now. But now that I have that data, we can use this data to make other requests for other things like information from the chat or other information about the channel, etc. Even like the number of people that are watching live currently. And in a future stream, probably on Wednesday, if not Wednesday, then Friday, we will take that information and put it on the screen via a WebSocket channel. So the idea is that we'll have a page that's being shown in the overlay in OBS, and then there will be a WebSocket channel from that to this service that we're writing in Node.js that can pass information back as it's constantly polling the stream data. So I think that's good enough for this stream. I wish that we had made more progress, but you know, this is what it's like being a software developer. Sometimes things just don't go as planned, and you have to improvise. So thanks a lot to all of you who stuck with me today and watched me fumble around with this for an hour. But next time, I think it'll be a lot more fun. So please come back and check that out. I will be tweeting it out probably a little bit more in advance notice than I did today. I apologize for that. I wasn't sure that I was going to stream until I woke up this morning and decided that I was going to do it. So I will give you more advance notice in the future. But thank you to all of the 7 or 8 people who stuck around the whole time. All right, cool. Thanks a lot again for coming to hang out, and we'll see you again next time. Happy hacking.